I'm not gonna lie, it feels really weird to be filming this video much later than when I usually do, and even getting it up a day later. I do apologize. Hello friends, happy Tuesday. As of this video going live, my family and I, we got hit with a flu-like virus that gave all the symptoms of flu, but wasn't actually the flu. And yeah, the Sunday, I was gonna wait for Yen Press to do their license announcements, because I'm like, I know there'll be something, and there was something, and I was like, I'll wait for it to end, and then I'll film. Honestly, the more that the day went on, the worse that I felt, and I was just like, with that one license announcement, I'm like, I can't come on here half-hearted and not have my typical energy. And I'm glad I waited because y'all, I got the energy. I am pumped. I am hyped. I'm not going to talk about anything anime related because, yeah, over the weekend we had 3 different shoujo say anime drop in one day. It was surreal, or it was like just over the course of that weekend. Yeah, it was massive surreal. But we're going to talk about that stuff next week because I have a very strong feeling that I'm going to be rambling during this video. And so I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra time and space to be able to do all those rambles. And for everything I'm going to be sharing about today, all the links will be down below. So definitely be sure to check it out. We're going to start off with not a licensed manga, but Magical Girl Dandelion Chapter 4 just dropped on Viz Media. Yes, I read it. Buddy read it with some friends. Actually, mainly it was just me and Fire, but it was great. I loved it. So good. This is on the Viz Media app, and right now you can read chapters 1 through 4 for free on the Viz Media app. It's so good. Chapters 1 through 3 was amazing, and I was sort of a little nervous if Chapter 4 could really live up to the hype of the previous chapters. I shouldn't have even been worried. It was phenomenal. Has Alice in Wonderland vibes, has a little bit of horror mixed in there, and a whole lot of heart. I would highly recommend checking out this Magical Girl manga. Again, like I said, I think it was whenever the chapters drop, pause this video, go to Viz Media, go read it because it's very, very good. And they're long chapters right now. It was 45 pages just for this one. Loved how it ended, and I'm very hooked, very excited, and just very relieved that we have a new chapter. I think the next one comes out November 1st or like the beginning of November. It continues to get really, really good, and you're gonna keep hearing me gush about it and say go read it because it's just amazing. Now, this little bit of news is not related to a manga license at all either, but it's called How to Write Manga Even If You Suck at Art. I wanted to share this. At first it's by the same creator of The Girl That Can't Get a Girlfriend, which I have not read, but I happened to come across this mangaka of her sharing how she wanted to go and be isekai, to go back in the past and tell her past teenage self to improve on her art because it makes current her's life difficult. I feel like I said that right. Hopefully I did. And I think it's a really funny manga, or like, well, the reason I'm sharing about it is because the creator mentioned that this short comic is going and is currently on Webtoons and Tapas. And I think even if you're not interested in writing manga or drawing or anything with manga creation process, just the way that she goes about giving like help to other people and encouraging them how to do things is just so very funny. Like, I went and subscribed on Webtoons just because that's how much I'm enjoying this. I was like, I needed to share with other people because the way too that she isekai'd herself was just so funny, and the way her teen self acted when drawing manga was just really hilarious. So, but I definitely think if you're interested in the manga creation process of maybe like what tools to buy, what software to use, this seems like it's a super informative comic, and I would highly recommend it for that. But if you're just looking for something funny to read that does have that information and you're learning something new, again, this is what I would just highly recommend because it's just a good and fun time, and I just wanted to share about it today. Now, this past weekend was the New York Comic-Con, which means there were plenty of licenses, and we're going to talk about those things, but the one thing I did want to briefly mention, even though it's not the best of news, was the manga recommendations from Manga Publishers panel. Now, I'm not going to go into depth at all about what they talked about, what they featured for shonen, shoujo, and all that. No, I mean, no offense to them. They had some good recommendations. What I wanted to mention, because it's a good thread, by the way, is the PR person that works for Viz. He confirmed there were no plans for a Haikyu box set. That's not happy news, but I wanted to feature it because if you're a Haikyu fan like me, you've been holding out. I mean, regardless, I know I have the whole series. I don't need the box set. I want the box set though. I want the box set that Japan got because it's so beautiful and so pretty. And yeah, we're not going to get that. We're not going to get that. Granted, we did get the 3-in-1 omnibus, so that is a win. That is a huge win because that means more Haikyu fans can, or more people can become become Haikyu fans, and hopefully we will get the Haikyu spin-offs and light novels and all of that good stuff, because that's what I want. But I just wanted to feature this because I thought it was very important information, and I have been holding out hope that we would get the Haikyu box set, but they have no plans, so I'm not going to make plans to hope for that. And if they want to surprise me in the future, I'll be 100% here for it though. I will definitely get it. But there was something else related to that. It wasn't at that specific panel, but this person that takes really good notes and shares them on Twitter because they're amazing. They went to like a panel that Square Enix did about their manga. And one thing I really wanted to feature or mention was this tweet here that she shared. And it is basically the top 10 best-selling series that were sold to comic shops from October 23 to October 24. And I'm not surprised to see the Apothecary Diaries #1. I was surprised to see Soul Eater #2. Was not surprised by My Dress Up Darling being #3. But the ones I really wanted to feature was Mr. Villain's Day Off coming at #6, like let's go. And then for #8, My Happy Marriage, also let's go. And then #9, The Ice Guy and the Cool Girl. It was really exciting to see some shoujosei represented in their top 10. I feel like Square Enix has like a smaller batch of announcements, or licenses specifically I should say, but I really feel like they do a really great job of like giving their consumers, their readers, the people in their community, they really feed us really well. And I was just excited to see like, you know, there's a lot of talk that shoujosei just doesn't sell well. And I feel like just seeing this, because you know, this is all based off the American market, that's not fully true. Yes, maybe it's not selling the same, say as like the Apothecary Diaries and Soul Eater and whatnot, but it's in the top 10, which means it's selling very, very well. So I wanted to feature that because it made my heart very happy, very excited, especially since Ice Guy was on there, and I am just loving that series. Like, the volumes are pretty pricey, but the happiness it brings me, I'm like, it's worth that price, 100%. And so glad to see and feel, or glad to see and know that other people feel the same way. A few other things that I want to mention before those license announcements, the ones I was really excited for, is I was really excited to come across a random tweet on X, and they said that Love That's an Understatement Volume 5, it is up for pre-order. Let's go. Digital only, unfortunately, but it does release November 5th. This is the only digital manga series that I've actively been pre-ordered. Well, I usually don't pre-order. I wait for them to go on sale, and then I order them. But it's the only digital series that I've actively been buying with new volumes, and so I wanted to feature it. Am I caught up? No, I'm not. And you know the funny thing is, for like half this year, I told myself I'm going to feature this during my 25 days of shoujo manga. That I'm going to do a manga review, and I'm going to hype up the series. And then I planned my 25 days of shoujo manga. I shared it with the Patreon channel members, and it's still up if you want to go see it. I'm like, hey, here's my tentative calendar, and I did put this as a review on there. So let me know if you would like to see this as a review. I was ultimately holding out that this would get a physical license announcement this year. It's honestly why I was waiting. We did not get that, at least as of filming this video. Maybe that could change before the year ends, I don't know. But as of right now, that's just not something that's been brought up. Unfortunately, just digital only. So yeah, if you'd be interested in me reviewing this, I do have quite a few reviews and a few first impressions, so just let me know. If I can't do it this year, I'm definitely making a goal, a plan, an official goal. I need to write on my list of like things I want to do in 2024 to review this series, because I really feel like, I mean, I loved Volume 1, and I feel like so many more people need to check it out. It's so good, by the same creator of Lovesick Ellie. I have not read this one, but this is a delinquent romance, and that's my cup of tea, and I can't wait to see what happens. I'm really excited for this little bit of news. I don't even know how I came across it, but if you love Yona of the Dawn, and you know, I think it was my last manga news video or the one before that, I mentioned how with Yona of the Dawn, you could get the art book, that there was a company that seemed legit that was selling it or doing pre-orders for, it's like $158. That does include shipping. And many of us are like, no. And I'm like, yeah, I'm with you, but I just, in the case that person wants to get it, they can get it. Well, I found out some really cool news. So last year during the 25 days of shoujo manga, the French edition of volume, I believe it was volume 41, it came with a special cover, which I don't have. I have it somewhere else in my room. I don't remember what I did with it. I have it somewhere displaying. That's why I don't remember what I did with it. But it came in this small little box set, came with a special cover, and then it came with this mini art book. And I did a flip through of the whole thing. I gave all my little reactions. So if you want to see, you know, all the pages, check out this video here. Well, the reason I bring this up this morning is because the Spanish edition of volume 43, had to double check that, they're actually going to print this art book here, but they're going to make it big. And it has has a different cover, or no, it has the same cover on it, but it's just going to be a bigger edition, and it's brand new. I looked this morning. It is available on, I don't know what Amazon it is, but it is an international one. I'll leave it linked down below, and it doesn't seem that much. I didn't go through the whole shipping process because I don't plan to rebuy this, even in a bigger version. It would be nice. It would be nice. I was tempted, but I think to get this in the bigger version of this little mini art book, and if you want to have the Dawn art book and don't want to pay that big money for the official one that came out of Japan, and you're okay with another language, then this is a great way to go, because it should be about 50 USD, I think, with shipping. I'm not 100% sure, but it is a whole lot more affordable and a whole lot cheaper than the one that came out. Granted, you may probably, if it's like this one, this does not have glossy pages. It's just regular manga pages, maybe a little bit more durable, I think it is, but there's no words and anything. It's just illustrations from the covers, and as well as some, I think the chapter illustrations that are all in color as well. I would definitely recommend it. I think it's a huge deal, and so if I didn't already have this, I would easily get the bigger version, because this was a really beautiful art book to flip through, and as you can see, it's right chunky. I've never ordered from this Amazon. I've only ordered from, US Amazon, Amazon Japan, but it should be, I mean, it's legit, and it's in stock as of right now. I don't know for how long, so hopefully it's still in stock by the time this video goes live, but definitely give it a check out if you have been wanting a Yona of the Dawn art book. Now it is time to talk about those manga licenses that came out. So first one that they did theirs was Square Enix. I mean, Yen Press had a few before them, but I guess there wasn't anything that I personally was super interested in because I didn't bookmark it. So I was like, oh, okay, this must have been the first one. And that is Bride of the Death God. I mentioned that this one, the Manga Up app, several weeks ago. I know I featured it in a video, and it looked really beautiful. And the reason I remember featuring it is because I had friends who were really excited, especially my friend Fire. I read chapter 1, and it left a huge first impression. It is about this young woman who has been told, I think she has 7 days to live, and then the Grim Reaper's gonna come, and he's gonna take her soul, and the end kind of story. No, I should say story, because it doesn't end there. So when he goes to, reap her soul and whatnot, she's not afraid of him. She's like, okay, you're really kind. Thanks for coming to visit me and whatnot. And he's like, you're not gonna cry because you're about to die. She's like, no, I'm not. And he's like, well, I'm not gonna reap your soul until I make you cry. And and that was like, oh, that seems really cool. But then you go into chapter 2, and this girl is not who she appears to be. And I will just leave it at that. For me personally, I am very excited for this license, and I know a lot of people who are. But that chapter 2, I was like, I'm a little bit scared. I knew this was a darker kind of story. It's not like a fluffy shoujo or anything. It's not a shoujo. I don't know what the demographic is, but I know it's not shoujo. I know it's on the darker side of things, but I feel more worried for our Reaper here than I do our young woman, even though she's the one that has 7 days to live. She's just the twist that happened in chapter 2. I mean, you see a little bit of it in volume in chapter 1, but you see it a whole bunch in chapter 2. So she said, my friend Fire, she's gonna give me some spoilers and let me know if this is a good fit for me personally, because I did feel it was a little bit dark based off of things that happened in chapter 2. I felt a little nervous, but I would still be interested in knowing what goes down with this series. The art is so beautiful. Also, I found out too that she has art, the creator has art in the Twisted Wonderland anthology, and she did Jamil and Kalim. And I was like, oh, are those your best boys? Because I'm really curious. Her art is beautiful, and the art is stunning in the manga. So if you're interested and want to check this out, I believe it comes out, physically comes out in September of next year. But again, it's available on the Manga Up app, which I think is available internationally. So you can definitely go check it out there. Chapter 1 was free, and then you have to use, I forget what the currency is on the Manga Up app, and then you just use that to buy, I think it's 2.1 and then 2.2 because they split it up in half. So yeah, definitely check it out. I am very excited for many of my friends who were just so hyped for this. I hope it's not like that the dark part that happened in chapter 2 is as dark as it gets, because I would be interested in knowing what happens, especially to our Reaper man. I need to know what happens with him. Now, I have been very vocal that I feel that 7 Seas is the GOAT manga publisher. But let me tell y'all something. They're the GOAT. But we got a runner-up, or at least we got the almost equal-footed, and that is Yen Press. Now, Yen Press has been consistently delivering for the Shijosei community, and they have continued to do, again, they had quite a few awesome and amazing license announcements, and one of them I feel like is one of the biggest upset. I don't plan to get this, but that is Kindergarten Wars. This is on, is it the Jump Plus app or the Manga Plus? I don't think it's on the actual Shonen Jump app, but you can read it in English on either Jump Plus or Manga Plus. I always get that website title wrong, but it's on there because I've read it legally before, and I was like, oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I want to get it physically, but yeah, Yen Press licensed it, and I'm like, oh, Yen, did you just steal that? Well, they didn't steal it, but it feels like I think all of us expected that Viz Media was going to get it. And yeah, it was Yen Press. So anyway, yeah, they had really good stuff. When it comes to the shoujo specifically, this was not on my bingo board, but I was so excited, and that's the 31st Consort. So I read the first chapter of this on Bookwalker long time ago. Yes, you can read it on there. You can read all the chapters actually on Bookwalker. I didn't do that. I just read the first one and a few other ones past that. But it's about a young woman. She lives with her brothers at home. She's amazing. She's amazing. She definitely acts very much like a farmer. She helps take care of her older brothers, provides meals for them, and does things with the medical herbs. And they get the news that she has been chosen as the 31st consort, meaning that the king will visit her on the 31st of that month, which, you know, doesn't happen that often. And she's like, well, I'll agree. And she goes, you know, to be one of the consorts, and she just doesn't act like your typical one. She's really like, when I was reading, she gets there, the knight's like, okay, this is where you'll be living. She's like, oh my goodness, this is amazing. And he's like, what? You know, like, what do you mean? What do you mean? Because it's like, it wasn't run down, but it was a nice little cottage, and the grass was overgrown, and she's over here commenting about the soil and how she'll be able to farm it well, and that's exactly what she does. It was so wonderful. I stopped right when she's about to meet the king, and I'm so stoked. I am so stoked. I hope I explained it well, but I'm very excited. It is a romance. I think it's going to be a wonderful time. So this was like such an unexpected win for me, and I'm like, yes, I am definitely picking this up. Like, I would say out of all of the licenses for this would be number 2. Well, don't worry, we'll get to number 1 in a few minutes though. The next one that I'm really excited about and definitely wanting to pick up is A Witch's Life in Mongol. I don't know a lot about this one. I know it's a josei manga, and I really feel like it just came out of nowhere. I don't know, maybe this series is ongoing. I thought it was completed, but I think it's ongoing when I saw it somewhere shared online. But I'm really excited and interested about this one because it feels like the young woman, I got the impression that she's sort of a slave, and she is taken under the wing of this very powerful, I think, consort. She teaches her a whole bunch of things, and it's between our female lead and this other woman where they just transform this historical empire. I don't believe this is actual historical manga. I don't think. I'm actually not very sure because I didn't look up the tags for this, so I don't know. But it does feel very rich and influenced by real historical events and real historical people. And so that's actually why I'm really excited about it. When I looked at different images online, the setting is so rich and it's so different. I don't have a problem with reading Western-based like fantasy or historical series. I don't have a problem with that, but I feel like it's so refreshing when we get a series that's not inspired by a Western setting. Like, it's just so refreshing, and that's exactly what I felt here when I was looking at different images. So again, I'm sorry that I can't say a lot about this outside that it looks really good, that it's a josei and has this very rich historical feel, but I think this is going to be a really interesting kind of story, especially since it seems like she is like very thirsty and hungry to learn a bunch of knowledge, and that because she's gained all of this knowledge and learning these things, that she's more or less going to transform this empire. Whether this empire is ready or not, things are going to be going down, and I'm very curious to see how those things will go down. The next one, y'all. The next one. This was my biggest win. I have been holding out. I've been holding out for the longest time. People are like, just read it. I'm like, no, I'm going to wait a little bit longer. I'm glad I waited. And that is the novel is being printed of Villains Are Destined to Die by Eyes Press. Let's go. Let's go. Like this right here. I was like, this is why I can't say Get Press. Eyes Press is not the GOAT because, man, like, yes, I am overjoyed. So incredibly stoked to have one of my favorite manhwa, to have the web novel in print. And y'all, not just that, I found out the news that it is also going to be an ebook form. I was like, y'all cooking. They're cooking. They are cooking. I knew that I could not film this video with having less than 100%, even more, plus extra of excitement for my best girl, Penelope. Like, I am so excited. I've gotten so many recs of like, Laura, if you love the manhwa, you need to go read the web novel. I'm like, I know, but it's a commitment to read. I mean, yes, it's a commitment to read, which I don't have a problem with that, but I'm like, I don't want to read it on my phone or my computer. I want it physically, and we are getting it. We are getting it. Like, yes. I don't know when this is coming out. I know that ORV, the web novel for that is coming in July. It's already up for pre-order. And so I'm like, please, Blizzard Destined, let it be coming out soon. Like, yes. And I really, really hope. I was looking yesterday at the Korean light novel covers. I'm like, please, let it be that. Let it be so. Even though Derek's on one of them, I'm like, oh no, I don't want Derek. I don't want Derek. I mean, the covers look really nice. And with that, I'm hoping, because it's 4 volumes and then it has a bonus with side stories. I'm like, please let the side stories be included, because I've heard some things and I'm like, I need to see this of like what went down because I heard that like I know who the endgame is of the series because I looked up spoilers because that's just what I do with my favorite series. But I did hear that in the side stories that the other guys who did not win, that they actually have supposedly their happy romantic ending with Penelope. And there's a certain character I need to see that I've heard. I've only heard about one. And I'm like, I need to see because I just don't feel like it would work. So I'm very curious. But yes, number 1 win. The one thing I just was so like not preparing for and like made my day. Like my day has still been made because of this news. Like, let's go. So yeah, I can't say the 7 Seas is just the GOAT because Ice Press, Yen Press has risen up and they're like, yo, we here too. And I'm like, yeah, I see you. I see you. Biggest win will be getting hands down. Like out of anything I could say about for today, this is like the 100% will get guaranteed pre-order. Boom. Here's my wallet. Here's my credit card because I am getting this for certain. I mean, obviously I'm gonna get everything I'm featuring today, but this specifically, I'm like, if I can't get anything else, Penelope, best girl, that she gotta be getting. I gotta see what happens in the web novel. I heard that the man was a very faithful translation or adaptation, excuse me, and I need to see it, y'all. I'm gonna be able to see it. I'm gonna be able to see it. So yeah, I'm so excited. Now for my last little bit of news, Kodansha did have one digital josei that sounded so very good, and that is India Calling Me Now. And I love the cover. I mean, I'm assuming that this is a josei. I was told that it was under the Be Love label, which is a josei magazine, so I'm like, this has to be josei. And it's about a young woman. I think she was a manga artist, and her boyfriend has gotten a transfer for his job to go to India. He asked her to come. She decides to come, and he's like, oh, I just want you for a housewife. And she's like, peace out, I'm leaving. That's not what I want to do. And now she's stuck in this other country. I guess it's her story of finding herself, and I think she meets this other girl when she's there. And I'm very bummed it is digital only. I'm so hoping that's gonna go on NetGalley and I can read it for free that way and just leave an honest review, because Kodansha, if any of the publishers, they do like the read now option, so you can just, you know, read it now and then leave a review and boom, call it a day. So I'm hoping so, because it's just such an interesting premise to me, and especially since it's taking place in India, like I want to see like how the Indian culture is brought to life and see the setting and all of that. And honestly, like, how is this young woman going to cope with this? Because even though she just dumped her boyfriend, like, I feel like I would be terrified to be in another country. Like, if I packed up, I mean, and moved, especially if it's like, you know, like Japan, okay, that'd be one thing, but like to go to a place you probably never planned to go, like, what did you do? What do you do? Especially if you don't even know the language, you know what I'm saying? So this one I am very interested in. And yeah, let's take just a moment to pause and talk about the Kodansha, because I felt like the morning that I was filming this video that a lot of people were ganging up on the shoujosei community on X. A lot of people were very vocal, very loud, yelling, complaining that Kodansha is just not feeding the shoujosei community. Honestly, I'm one of these people too that I feel like they are just completely ignoring us as a community and just not consistently delivering. It's been very hard, and I have definitely been told, Laura, you just need to wait, you're not being patient enough, you know, things will always come. And it's sort of like, you know, yes, I feel like those words are meaningful, and I don't feel like that person is like fully wrong, but it's like, we have been waiting for so long. How long do we have to keep waiting before we feel that a publisher is going to acknowledge that there's a problem? You're not publishing, at least physically, shoujo, or like we're getting shoujo, but it's one and it's digital only. So this morning I saw a tweet and they were like, you know, Kodansha says that if you want something in print, that you need to buy it digitally and fill out the survey suggestion form. So I asked them, I was like, because I think it was Winter Venom was who I was chatting with, and I was like, okay, regardless of the demographic, I was like, has Kodansha actually proven true on this word that if the digital sells well, that they will print it? Is that really true? I don't remember their response, because honestly, it was me asking them that question that led me to go onto Kodansha's website. I went all the way back to March of 2021, looking at their licenses, and yeah, it's not a happy answer, but yeah, Kodansha, for any demographic, they do, if it sells well, then they will physically print it. These are all of the series that they showed that were digital first, and then at some point within a year later, they became physicals. So I don't know what to do with that information, again, because it's like, it doesn't make me feel better. I don't agree with Kodansha's tactic of that it all comes down to sales, and that's the only way that we will physically get things, like at least when it comes to Shoujo specifically. So I wanted to share that because I do feel this news only comes out when the Shoujo community is complaining about them not getting in licenses, and I'm like, you know what, let me go see if this is like valid for anything. And yeah, it is valid. I should have like mentioned this first so I don't leave this video on a depressing note, but it was just hard to know that. I mean, at least Kodansha is backing up what they're claiming that they say. Let's talk about lighter things. That it was overall, it was a great weekend of manga licenses, and I really hope that you saw something that you're excited for. Obviously, Penelope, Villains Are Destined to Die. Yes, that is mine. That is mine. And to think it's not even a manga, it's just, I mean, well, manhwa, excuse me. Like, I should say, it has more words than it has pictures. And I'm like, I'm here, I'm ready. I am ready. But I would love to hear from you, friends. What are some manga licenses that you are super hyped for? Again, next week I'll talk about some of the anime that dropped or got like announcements for. It's gonna be really great. 2025 is shaping up to be a really exciting year. My wallet doesn't agree, but I feel otherwise. So let me know down below. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And thank you so much for watching. Bye!